This is our first video on the HTML modules we'll do on SoloLearn. At the very top of the page there's a Courses tab. Go ahead and click that. You're going to go down to HTML Fundamentals. Interested in learning how to design a website using HTML tags, elements, and attributes? Then this learning game is for you. Alright, so I'll go ahead and summarize the rest of this. The big point I want to emphasize here is all the little checkpoints this module uses. I love how they chunk everything up in really bite-sized chunks. That way you constantly get feedback on if you're actually understanding the things that they're dishing out to you. So click the top. What is HTML? Stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Unlike a scripting or programming language that uses scripts to perform functions, a markup language uses tags to identify content. Here's an example of an HTML tag. You got the paragraph tag, so there's the opening tag and the closing tag. I am a paragraph. I like this feature right here. Try it yourself. Another tab will pop up, and this is the code playground. We'll use this quite a bit in class. But what you can do is experiment with the things you're learning by typing them in here and clicking run. And this acts as a browser right here. So if this was a web browser and you went to this website with this HTML, you would see just these words. No real fancy structure or anything, just words on a page. So what does a markup language use to identify content? Tags, not scripts, right? The web structure. The ability to code using HTML is essential for any web professional. See, I find it ironic they say the ability to code using HTML, and yet on the slide before this they said it's not a programming language, it's a markup language. And we had this discussion at the beginning of the year in class. Is HTML a programming language? Most professionals seem to be saying no, and yet here's a sentence where it says the ability to code using HTML. So is it not a programming language, but it's still coding? Acquiring this skill should be the starting point for anyone who is learning how to create content for the web. Modern web design includes HTML for the structure. I would add content onto this. CSS is for the presentation, the prettiness of the pages. JavaScript can be used to determine behavior of web pages, websites. Like when I click this, something's going to happen. That's likely using JavaScript to make it happen. And then there's PHP and other languages for the back end, and CMS for content management. We'll talk about these things later. Let's do what it says and dive right in. So rearrange the code. To surround the text, I am learning HTML and SoloLearn with opening and closing P tags. So this is always going to be closing when you have the backslash. Let's make that make sense, and we should be good. Alright, second one, the HTML tag. Although various versions have been released over the years, HTML basically remains the same. And that's true right now. As of the making of this video, we're on HTML5. The structure of an HTML document has been compared with that of a sandwich. As a sandwich has two slices of bread, the HTML document has opening and closing tags. These tags, like the bread in a sandwich, surround everything else. So HTML will be the sign to the computer that what you're typing is going to be used on a web browser. The head tag. Immediately following the opening HTML tag, you'll find the head of the document, which is identified by opening and closing head tags. The head of an HTML file contains all of the non-visual elements that help make the page work. So I want to emphasize this point right here. There's going to be quite a bit of non-visual elements that you can put here in the head. Some of the things you'll be doing is helping for accessibility. So some people have disabilities, they should have great access to the internet as well, so you can do some things to make it easier for them to access each page. And then there's going to be other information you can put in here to help companies like Google do a better job at searching web pages. Learn all about that later though. drag and drop from the options below to create a valid HTML document. So first you got to tell the computer you're doing HTML, and then you'll have the empty head tag here. Should be correct. The body tag follows the head tag. All visual structural elements are contained within the body tag. Headings, paragraphs, lists, quotes, images, and links are just a few of the elements contained within the body tag. So this is our basic structure we'll be using to create web pages. They want us to rearrange. So HTML first, and then head, opening body, closing body. This should work. Alright, 2 more and then a quiz. The HTML file. HTML file is a text file, so you can use any text editor to create your first web page. There are some very nice HTML editors available. You can choose the one that works for you. For now, let's write our examples in Notepad. I personally like to use Atom. That's right down here in the green. But you can really use, you can even just use a Microsoft Word document. You can use anything. What type of editor is used to edit HTML code? We just need a text editor. So when we type a letter appears. The HTML file. The basic HTML structure to the text editor with this is a line of text in the body section. In our example, the file is saved as first.html. Okay, so .html. When the file is opened, the following result is displayed in the web browser. Okay, so if you go to a text file and you save it with .html, you can open that file on a web browser like Chrome or Edge down here. You can use Mozilla Firefox. When you open it, if it has .html, you should be able to see what you've typed into that text document. To place a title on the tab describing the web page, add a title element to your head section. Right, so now we're putting a title inside the head. Where should you put the title tag? Oh, I just said that, between the head tags. Technically, after the HTML tag is correct too, but the one I chose was more correct. Just a test. Creating a blog. Throughout this course, we'll create your own unique blog project, so you'll retain what you've learned and be able to put it to use. Alright, so for my class, we're going to do this. We're going to just create and destroy web pages over and over using our Geek account. So let's skip this. I'm sure we can still fill this out correctly. Fill in the blanks. So after the head comes the title, /title to close it. Easy. Quiz time. What is HTML? Markup language. Of which main parts does the HTML file consist of? Head and body. Those are the main ones. Visual and non-visual. Which tag contains the visual part? Body. Fill in the blanks. So head, title. HTML head. Okay, so I know this is body because there's the opening, there's the closing. Okay, so this has to be head. It's going to be a blank set of head tags. There's nothing inside them. And I guess that's going to be okay for the quiz. All right, and that's it.